I think we're back.
We're back.
Can you check and see, Grace, for me? I'm sorry, folks, if you guys, we don't know what's going on. So let us know in the comments right now if we are back and you can see us because, holy cow, what happened? This is
that
live
has
video,
never
folks.
happened to us before. Like,
That is live video. So are we, let's see, are we live on our Facebook page? Let's see, Grace. Can you check LinkedIn for me, Grace?
I am checking. Oh, you're on Facebook. Okay, I'll check LinkedIn.
So we're just talk amongst yourselves because we're getting. This is what happens when things go wonkers on the old
wonkers. Oh my gosh.
So that is a technical live streaming term.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was on Christina Gritman's show last Friday and the same thing happened. So I think it's me. It
must be you.
Yeah, I think it's me. I am like the live stream killer.
I think we are. Let's see. I don't see anybody.
We're on LinkedIn.
Oh, and yes. So, Gary, live stream is having a bad day. Thank you for letting me know that we're working over on YouTube. That's one of the cool things about ReStream, which we've talked about before, is that we can go live everywhere, and it's relatively easy to restart. So, there we go. Yes, so it was those folks. It was those folks in Amsterdam, is what Gary says.
Oh, we were besmirching them. That's why.
That's right.
So
that's right.
So this is the beauty of ReStream. We just like loaded it up. We had all our channels ready to go, and we are just like, bop, bop, bop. I mean, Jeff had more to do on his end. I just sat here and
The important thing is not to panic. You can panic later. Yeah, so okay, we were talking about LinkedIn Premium. If it's worth.
Okay, we were talking about LinkedIn Premium and is it worth doing? And Viveka, you were making this amazing point that you can do a lot of the branding and stuff that you need to position yourself, and you don't necessarily need premium.
Yeah, exactly. So everything, all the features, and we'll deep dive, maybe not, we'll deep dive into all of these free features coming up next. But things like your background image, video cover stories, name pronunciation, which is an audio mini elevator speech, your headline, the featured media where you can almost create a portfolio depending on what you do, the about section, which is like a sales page, sharing newsletters that they're new on LinkedIn. They're awesome. Peg knows yes. Because a few select people got newsletters and now they're becoming more widely available. Hey, it's so good to see you, Peg. So all of these things are available to you for free. So you can help to position yourself for free. Now, I don't know where we got caught off. I was talking a little bit about the Job Seeker premium accounts and the Sales Navigator accounts. Those are great if you need them, but when you are looking for a new job, sometimes we're, counting the pennies and things like that. So I'd say don't invest in a premium tool until you hit that point where you're like, okay, I need to live stream from more than one platform. Now I need to invest in something, right? I need to be able to engage or connect with a few people who are outside of my network that LinkedIn's not letting me do. So now I have to invest into Sales Navigator or Job Seeker. So that's what I would recommend. But when you're starting out, and almost everything we're going to talk about today is available for free. So you absolutely don't need to invest in premium just to commence on your new journey into a new position.
See, I think that's great advice because so many times it's like anything else. Like you think that, well, if I pay for something, it'll be better and it'll increase my chances. Like I need to buy this new, live streaming thing because it'll make me better. When it's not really, it doesn't really matter. So that's great to know. One of the things, there was an article on Forbes this week, and it was called, it was the biggest. What was the biggest error thousands of professionals make on LinkedIn every day? And so, and one of the things, it was all about networking. So it got like the top 5 blunders networkers of all kinds make, and there were cold pitches, blind outreaches to strangers, which we all love so much on LinkedIn. And when it comes to sales, whether it's a product or service or yourself, what can we do to make a powerful and positive first impression on LinkedIn?
Yeah, well, ironically, when you're creating your LinkedIn profile because you're either going to start your own business or you're looking for a job, you don't actually want it to read like a resume. You can upload your resume if you want to. There's different ways you can get that. You can actually add your resume to the featured section, so you can certainly get your resume to whoever might need to read it. Make it's public, so get rid of like personal phone numbers and things like that. But your LinkedIn profile really needs to be a resource for your audience. So if you're switching industries, then you need to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is reflective of the audience of the industry that you're moving into. If you're changing a job, but you're just maybe moving from company A to company B, then your resume, your LinkedIn profile needs to talk about how you helped company A achieve success, what their struggles were, what you did, what the results were. So it really needs to be focused on how you can help your audience, your new company, your new employer, as opposed to, oh, I've got 25 years in marketing. I worked here, and here. Like, there's a resume for that. And guess what? You can upload it, but really focus on who you help, how you helped them, what makes you different, and why you would be either a good hire or why people should hire your new company that you're creating. And so from the top down, like, let's just go over it from the top down. A lot of people don't have a background image, or they have a background image from their current company. You might want to create a background image that is reflective of you. If you do visual marketing, you could do a collage of maybe some of the graphics that you've created, right? If you're a speaker, obviously have that on you on stage. If you're an author, if you go to my profile right now, unless you're listening to this like 6 months from now, if you go to my profile right now, you'll see that I've got my book up there with my co-author. So think about who you are individually, what your offer is, what your service is, and how can you visually reflect that in that background image. And if you go to Vengreso with one S, vengresobanner.com, it will give you the background image sizing for both company pages and personal profiles. You might want to consider creating a company page for your new company if you're creating a new company, because you might not even have a website yet, but hey, you can create like a mini website by just creating a company page on LinkedIn and start with that branding. The other thing, make sure your photo looks like you. We've got longer hair, less hair. We're bigger, we're smaller. I mean, let's face it, the past 16 months, I'm smaller, but
I took your way and got it on mine. Yeah. So
the past 16 months have changed us, right? Physically, emotionally, spiritually. And you want to look like you do, because if you're getting interviewed in real life, yay. But a lot of interviews are still happening on Zoom. And so they see this one picture of you, and then you get on Zoom and they're like, who's that? Right? Because you're bigger, smaller, balder, longer hair, whatever. So make sure that image is what you look like today. And then I think we're going to talk about video cover stories a little bit later, so I won't dive too deeply into that, but there's a cool little hack you can do with that, which we'll talk about. From your name, like the name pronunciation tool, which is available in the mobile app only. You can see it and play it on desktop, but in the mobile app only, it's called name pronunciation, which if you've got a funky name like me or Jeff,
right.
It's right. Jeff Shea, Sia, he. No, yeah. I know, but I'm proving my point, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I've called you Shea in the past too. So
that's all right. It's okay.
I know.
I forgive you.
That's all right. So not only can you tell people how to pronounce your name, you could give them a 10-second little elevator speech who you are and why they should hire you. And this is all free, and it's all above the fold, and it's all on LinkedIn. And then your headline almost becomes the script, quite frankly, for that name pronunciation tool. You don't want to be like, marketing professional with 25 years looking for a job. Focus on who you're, I help small to medium-sized businesses make a splash online with great graphics and content, right? And then that's speaking, if that's what you do, that's speaking directly to your audience. And then later on, they'll be able to see that you're available for work. And you can even do the little, they've got the hiring or available to work, or I forget what it's called, but yeah, they even have that you can add if you want to. But I would definitely focus on who you help and how you help them, not necessarily, your job experience. Because like I said, you can upload a resume for that in your featured section. The about section, the first 2 lines in the about section are crucial because it's the old summary section. Because unless people click on see more, they're only going to see those first 2 lines. So we call it a call to read, a CTR. You need to have an impactful first sentence that people are like, ooh, I want to learn more about Jeff. I want to learn more about Grace. I want to learn more about Peg. I want to learn more about Jason. Jason Goff writes for us. He knows what that CTR, that call to read is. It's so people will click on the read more, the see more, and then that expands into 2,000 characters of real estate, which you can turn into almost a sales page about you, why people should hire you, why you're different from every other marketer out there, why you're different from every other consultant out there, why you're different from every other contractor out there, why people love working with you, how you make a difference in your company's life, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can use the featured section to prove it, right? By uploading examples of your work, by uploading video testimonials or sharing a link to video testimonials, by uploading written testimonials, all of those things. And again, we're still pretty much above the fold, and people are getting a huge impact of who you are and how you can help them. Meanwhile, competitor over there is like, I got 25 years in marketing, hire me.
Right. Pick me.
Right?
Pick me.
Yeah, pick me.
Yeah.
You could do that in your video cover story. That would be funny.
So
I think I'm going to change my video cover story to be I've got 20 years.
To be honest, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, because I didn't see that video cover thing until I went to your profile. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But we'll talk about that. But one of the questions I want to really quickly about when we're talking about personal branding, and one of the things I also think is very important is networking. And we mentioned, those things about what not to do, that article from Forbes. And we get those cold email calls. I mean, one, I get them because of I produce Guy Kawasaki's podcast. And so I get tons of people wanting to be on his show, and they see that I'm connected to him, and they think that I'm just going to automatically forward that to them or something. I don't know what.
Exactly.
So how can you network in the right way on LinkedIn? I mean, I know you probably get even more bonkers type of requests and reaching out and LinkedIn mail and all that stuff. So how do we use LinkedIn as a networking tool in the right way?
Yeah. So, guys, gals, it's not about the size, it's about the quality. It really is. I think the big mistake that people are making, and we focus on sales, so we really see this a lot. They use automation tools, they get lazy, and they just try to connect with as many people as possible. And to your point, Jeff, and to Forbes's point, it's given LinkedIn a bad name, and people are just sick of seeing that spam. We can see you coming a mile away. Oh, it looks like we share some people in the same company, and you can tell by my headline that I'm going to try and pitch you the next thing that we do, right? Oh, I read your book about Facebook, really? My book about Facebook? I'm pretty sure you didn't. Take a little time when you are going to reach out and ask someone to connect with you. Take a minute, go to their profile, read through their profile. We call it by the 3x3. Find 3 things in their profile other than the size of their network, other than, maybe you share a group. See if there's 3 things. Look at their profile, look at their content. If they're sharing content, look at their activity. Yes, if you have to, look at the groups, look where they live, look where they went to school. Maybe you have someone in common because they went to school together. Mm-hmm. Find some humanizing aspect about their profile. And then when you go to invite them to connect, refer to that and just... We can see the sales pitch coming a mile away. Don't go in. we wouldn't do that in real life, right? We wouldn't be at like social media marketing world and, hey, my name's VIVEKA and you should totally, buy our service for your company. Like buy my stuff. Why is it okay to do it on LinkedIn? I don't get it. Get to know people first. And another really cool tool, we call it the social surround. If you're lucky enough that your prospects on LinkedIn are actually sharing content, get into the content, start reading through the content, comment on the content, engage in the content, because then when you invite them to connect, you can say, hey, I read that post you shared the other day that Forbes said about 5 things you shouldn't be doing on LinkedIn. You were spot on. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I, would love to connect too. So that's kind of just like you would do in real life. You're having a conversation and then you're like, hey, and let's connect on LinkedIn too. I mean, duh.
It's fun. I have had people do that to me at Social Media Marketing World. But, and it's funny too, is like, and Eric Fisher, a friend of mine who's got a really popular podcast, we both get these pitches like, hey, I love your podcast. I would love to be on your podcast. I am an underwater basket weaver. It has nothing to do. You have not listened to my podcast because it's nothing to do with that. Why would I want you on my show? So it makes, you were saying, it's got to make sense. Gary goes, this is funny. I noticed we both breathe air. We should connect. Yes, so that's
we should connect.
Yeah. I don't know. We're not that past COVID that I'm ready to breathe air with people. So I don't know. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, Gary. Sorry.
Danny, breathe your air, Gary. Nothing further.
That's right. And Danny says, so true. Those automated messages are so awful. Danny, I'm so glad you got to see us live today. I appreciate you stopping by. This is true. Serena says, take the time to read and get to know people, then connect, per what VIVEKA says. So, Grace, I want you to talk about, because I found this article you found about, what people are scared about in the workplace. And this was fascinating to me because I didn't think it was this high, but I guess it makes sense. So talk about that real quick.
Oh, yeah. So we found this article. It was also in Forbes. It was a new research done by the Knowledge Academy. And they were saying that one of the biggest workplace fears is using LinkedIn. And it's actually number 2 after asking for a promotion. So, and although it sounds like a random fear, it doesn't seem random at all. The article breaks it down that, like, it's where you deliver your first impression, right? It just, people get nervous about doing that. It's also a place where you build and nurture your network, learn and grow, resource staff, expand your business, share your thought leadership. And it's a lot of pressure, right? It's a lot of pressure. Yeah. So in short, LinkedIn is the most powerful online tool for building your personal brand. And I know you went through a great checklist of everything that you need to do to set yourself up for networking and having a really good profile that's really strong out there. But my question to you is, like, as someone that's worked in digital marketing my whole life, you and I have done a million things. Like, you want me to be a graphic designer? That's great. I am, right? You want me to do SEO? I've done that, right? Like, I mean, my whole job is something that I never thought I would do until they were like, you're doing it now. And I'm like, oh, okay. So when you've got so many skills and you could see yourself doing anything, what's a good way to really talk about, like, what your personal brand is when you're not just one thing?
Right. Well, I'm so glad you brought that up. And it doesn't surprise me about LinkedIn being like the number 2 fear, because LinkedIn's kind of like how we're on stage now. And of course, being on stage and talking to people is the number 1 fear, even above death for some people. So, LinkedIn's just the virtual version of that. So it's not that surprising. I think that's why people are afraid of doing video as well. And, I hate to say it, but it's when I work with people, it's the pushback I often get is from women saying, oh, I couldn't say that about myself. So get over it. But sorry. We have to get over it.
Yeah,
if you can't get over it, right. If we can't get over it, and to actually answer the question you asked me, some of the ways that you're going to want to impart, this vast knowledge to the world and let people know, like, everything you're capable of, is letting other people say it for you. So getting those testimonials and getting those video testimonials up onto the featured section, if you're in fact looking for a job, let other people say how you rocked their world, right? Let other people say, and you might need to you might need to script it for them a little bit or give them some talking
Mhm.
points. Otherwise you might get like, he's nice, she's nice. But if you rocked someone's business world, like get that testimonial from them and put it up there, because that other people saying how awesome you are will help. Of course, I already mentioned examples of your work. That's going to help too. But to back up even more, and Grace, this is for people who do everything, master of many things, or for people who are switching entirely into a new industry and a new career, you've got to back up a little bit and go, okay, who is my audience? And helping everyone with a face, helping everyone with a computer, helping anyone who needs marketing. That's not right. Like,
Right.
marketing
Right.
is 10 gazillion things. That's not going to help. You need to get really, really specific about who you help. And I know I'm a broken record, who you help and how you help them. Be very, very clear on who your buyer persona is. Even if your buyer persona is a company hiring you, what are their needs? And the thing is, especially when you're looking for a new job, especially, if you're a contractor looking for new contracts, you want work, right? You gotta work to get that money, to eat, to live, to build your other job or your other business if you want to, but you've got to work. And so a lot of us are like, I'll do anything. Like, I'll do anything, just like pay me. And that, unfortunately, it doesn't send a good message.
Uh-uh.
So trying to be everything to everyone, like, you're going to burn out and you're going to be looking for another job. I think that's what COVID did. It burned a bunch of us out. And we're like,
Yeah.
I only got so many years left here, when they,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to spend them doing sucky work. I want to do them, at least making a difference in the world or doing something I love or whatever. And so, like, focus on that. It's a little woo woo, but focus on that and make sure that your entire profile, that your entire portfolio, that everything that you provide to people focuses on what it is, that laser sharp idea of who you help and how you help them, and do not try to be everything to everyone.
I think that is loud and clear, that what we have to do is like,
Yeah.
and it's hard because you want to take, when you're desperate, you want to take any job that is in front of
Oh,
you.
yeah.
So,
I've been there.
I get that, but
I've sold cars.
Yeah. So
I do live video. Kidding.
Yeah. And yeah, Gary says burnout is real. I think that's why a lot of people are changing jobs. Yeah, he's agreeing with what you were saying. Okay. So, by the way, if you're wanting to showcase a lot of stuff, what you're doing on LinkedIn, one of the best ways that I have found is with using live video, which we are doing here. And we're going to talk about some live video things in a bit, some of the kind of new cool things that this creator profile. But I wanted to let you guys know about our friends over at Ecamm, who are also sponsoring the show. Find out more about them at socialmedianewslive.com/Ecamm. But they have this really great thing coming up called Leap into Live Streaming Bootcamp, and I will be one of the speakers there, and I'm really excited to talk about that. We're going to be talking about how to take a live show and make it a podcast. We've got Pat Flynn speaking there, Leslie Samuels, Stephanie Liu, all these people who are amazing, and one of the ways to get noticed on LinkedIn is doing live video, and the cool thing about that is that you can do it right on LinkedIn now. And so make sure you guys go sign up for this, because there are seats are limited, but you can find out more at leapintolive.com. That is leapintolive.com. And another way to go live is, of course, ReStream. So talk about that, Chris.
Ecamm and ReStream work so well together, right? Because once you do create that amazing content, once you have that amazing branding and all the graphics that you're seeing here on this show, there's no better way to distribute it to anywhere online than with ReStream. We're going live to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Amazon Live. Did I miss one, Jeff?
Oh, there's 30. There's 30 different ones, and
I meant us right now. Yeah,
yes.
But that's just a handful of the 30 plus destinations, right?
Yes.
So if you're using live video in your business, you're using live video in your personal branding, you're looking to break out into a new career, I highly suggest this one. So check out more about ReStream over at socialmedianewslive.com/ReStream.
So this next section is really like I said, I saw Viveka on her profile with some of these new cool things that you could do with cover stories. So Grace, break down these new things that are in the news, and then I'll have Viveka actually explain them because they're really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are two things they rolled out, I think, end of March, beginning of April, and it's the ability to add a 30-second intro video to your profile. So it's almost like looking at a Harry Potter like picture,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So as you go there and like, you know, I saw Viveka like moving a little bit. I was like, oh, I should ask her about that on the show. And so now I am. And then the other thing is this new creator mode. So Viveka, I don't want to talk too much about it because you are the one that has this video cover. So tell us about it. Tell us what they do, how they work, and how you make it work for you.
Yeah. So video cover stories, exactly, Grace, the Harry Potter effect. So to reiterate, it's a 30-second video where you can, again, tell people who you are, but more importantly, who you help and how you help them. And I've seen some really creative stuff with it. Like some people are using it to give a daily tip. Or really more weekly, like, right? Isn't that cool?
That is a good idea.
If you're looking for a job and what you can display what you do visually, you could even upload like a little mini video potentially, like a video of a produced video of what you do that's under 30 seconds. Most people like me are just talking to the camera for 30 seconds about, again, who you help and how you help them. I wish I could remember. I saw really cool the other day. It was someone whose picture, like they took a picture of themselves like this, you know, and then they shot the video. So the video was actually, I mean, talk about Harry Potter. It was like this. And then the person started talking.
Cool.
I mean, it was like so cool. I don't have that kind of skill set. But yeah, things like that really, really help to differentiate. And think about it. If you're looking for a job, chances are most people don't even know this exists. And so you've got an employer or potential employer looking at your profile and you start talking to them. That's super cool, especially if you're talking to them as a buyer persona, not like, hey, John, hey, Jeff. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if you're saying, hey, if you're the owner of a small business, I can really help take you to the next level with my awesome marketing skills. I help the Social Media Examiner do this. And in fact, I've got my own live stream. You should totally check it out. I've put a link, in fact, in my featured area below. So you could actually put CTAs and little things like that, or you could check out my resume in this featured section below. So to get video cover stories, for like 10 seconds, you could actually get them on both your phone and online. You were just looking for the orange plus button. Mm-hmm. But I think now they're back to being just, at least to initiate, just on your mobile device. So go into the LinkedIn app on your mobile device, either Android or iPhone, and then go to your profile, which would be on the top left-hand side. And you're going to click settings by accident. Just go back to your profile and click on your profile. And then, the version of your profile like you see online or on the desktop will show up. And if you see an orange plus sign, a little orange plus sign, kind of where your picture is I think it's the bottom right-hand side of your picture, mm-hmm. You click on that plus sign and then you'll be able to upload that 30-second elevator speech. But be creative, especially for those of you who are marketers. Be creative with it. Think about, like, this is 30 seconds to show people more about you and what you do and how you do it. Like I expect to see some really cool video cover stories out there, folks. So that is something that we can make use of. And I believe almost everybody has it. We work with folks all over the world. And I always go, hey, can you let me know if you can get it? And almost everyone has it now, it seems to be.
Is this only available on personal profiles, or do company pages have this ability as well?
Oh, great question. Yeah. So far, I mean, as of yesterday, it's only on personal profiles. Now that I say that, I'll probably go to my company page and see that you can upload it. You can upload GIFs, by the way, to your company page. Just a little ninja's trick there too. But yeah, no, the video cover stories are only available on personal profiles right now.
So Sabrina says she just looked and she has it. So like you were saying, it's rolled out to almost everybody. The question I have, this is maybe something like for strategy, would be like, how often should you change that? Like, would you?
Yeah.
I think, is it something you want? You mentioned somebody doing it like a tip every day or whatever, but
Yeah.
for more normal people, like how often should you
Normal
change it?
people.
Yeah. Honestly, it depends about the amount of effort you want to put into it, to be honest. I did a couple that were kind of sucky, and then I spent a long time, and you can't tell it's not that good because I'm not actually very good at video. So and editing and such. But the one I've had on there has probably been on there for 2 months, but it's still relevant, right? It's still very relevant to who I am. So it really, I think, depends on how much effort you want to put into it and how relevant it is to your audience. And what you're trying to relay to them. If you're trying to relay that you're quick on your feet and you're full of knowledge and information, you want to lay some new information, some new knowledge on them every day, then hey, go for it, because that's really going to reflect who you are. If you've already got a live, I don't know, but you could get 30 seconds from your live and put it on there and give people a visceral example of what you're doing. But yeah, mine's been on there for like 3 months.
So, is there any stats on that? Like, is there a way to tell how many people have watched it or anything like that?
Not that I've seen, but then honestly, I haven't really checked in the last couple of weeks. So there should be. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
What you probably will see is more views on your profile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can see profile views, right?
Yeah. So
Premium gives you an update of like who's visited your page, so you could probably see that they've seen your. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is a great question. Oh, go ahead. Good. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just going to reiterate what Grace said. If you don't have premium, you just have to go see who's viewed your profile every day, because it'll only show you the last 5 people. If you have premium, that's one of the benefits of premium, is you can go in like once a week and you get even better stats of who's viewed your profile, which is probably not a bad, that's one of the reasons to invest in premium, is to be able to see everyone who's viewed your profile, because they've looked at you. Now you can start that conversation.
Very cool.
I noticed you've been creeping on me. Yeah. Would you like to talk?
That's funny.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's a great question. So this is from Jim, my friend Jim, and he says, should we change to creator mode on LinkedIn? So let's talk about that real quick. So as we move on to creator mode, like other platforms before it, like Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn is trying to embrace its creator community. So LinkedIn says people love to see creators give their take on what's happening in the news or share insights into a specific industry, whether it's a video or article or whatever. And so they have this new creator mode on your dashboard. So what is creator mode, and what is the benefit of using it on your personal profile?
Yeah, so creator mode shuffles things around a little bit on your profile. It pulls your featured section up higher. Theoretically, when you add your best hashtags and you use those hashtags in your content, it promotes your content to more people. We haven't actually seen that that's true, but hey, they say it does. So the only word of caution I would so first of all, when creator mode came out, obviously I turned it on and I was like, woo, everybody should have creator mode. Creator mode's awesome. Everyone can see your activity. It's higher up. Woohoo, creator mode rocks. And I still feel that way. And what it does as well is it changes your connect button into a follow button. So if you're trying to build a following and you don't want a bunch of people inviting you to connect, it's a good thing. So I really appreciated that. And absolutely, I've got a follow button now instead of a connect button. If you are looking for a job, you probably want to make yourself as accessible as possible. So you think twice about turning on that creator mode, because you don't want a potential employer trying to figure out how to get in touch with you. And in addition to that, you want to probably add your contact information, although you will get spam phone calls and you will get spam email, and I'm sorry, but you will. But if you do add your phone number or your email address into your about section, then it's also easier for recruiters or employers to reach out to you. So that was a really long answer. I love creator mode. And if you don't mind the fact that your connect button turns into a follow button, then absolutely go for it.
So here's the reason that I switched on my creator mode this morning. And it's because creator mode puts a bigger focus on your LinkedIn live broadcast, furthering
Yes.
the content you share in apps. So what it does is actually brings it up to your profile picture when you're live. And so that was a big deal for me. So if you are doing a regular live show, would you say that would be a good idea to do?
Yeah. Now I've heard, I've heard some people say that the live show will go above your profile even if you don't have creator mode. But I got creator, I don't know if that's true because I've got both. So
Right.
I do love the live shows playing in that banner place, because I mean, that was the biggest complaint of people, I want to follow your live. I want to go to your live. And then, they can't find it because LinkedIn sucked at letting people know where the live was happening. So, and by the way, it works on company pages too. And by the way, LinkedIn is finally giving more companies live. So we just got our Vengreso live, like literally our company live, instead of using my profile. And that live still shows on the company page, which is really cool as well.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Here's a question from Robert, and he says, in your cover stories, have you used CC to your advantage for those who can't play the audio of your cover story to your background stories as a CTA to amplify your message in your cover video?
I wish I could say yes. And Robert, we absolutely should. The only thing I did was to stand out. I wrote on a whiteboard, our little prospect better, sell more. That was my CC right there. That was my CC. No, Robert, 100% we should be using closed captioning. And I'm not, but we should be. We absolutely 100% should be. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. And then
but as an alternative, you can use something like ReStream to record it and then put in captions in there too, if you want to do that. Because I'm not a video producer either, as Robert knows. So. Yeah.
And so, Gary says
that's why
I'm sorry. I said Gary says I have creator mode, and now he doesn't mind having the follow versus connect. So, what were you going to say? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was, thank you also, Grace, for bringing that up. Like if you are using a restreaming tool or a streaming tool like ReStream, there's so many branding elements that make it awesome. And shoot your video 30 second, shoot your video, use all those cool features for those of us who are graphically impaired and not really video editors, because you can look a whole lot more professional, and that will definitely make you stand out as well. So thank you for bringing that up, Grace.
So Gary's got this great point. He goes, TikTok recently introduced video resumes. Do you think that will catch on? Well, Gary, you read my mind, because our next section is all about some LinkedIn video print trends and best practices. And the thing is that recently, TikTok did launch that pilot program throughout July that allows users to apply to jobs through the app using video resumes. It's called TikTok Resumes. And so it's really interesting. Some of these big companies are having it, and they got a post with that the hashtag TikTok Resumes. But, Viveka, I'd really love to know that, this is a test for now. Do you think this is something that may catch on over on LinkedIn, because it's an easy way, especially for those Gen Z people and all that stuff? Do you think that will eventually happen over there?
Oh, 100%. And I'm laughing to myself. It's like TikTok introduced video resumes. I mean, I get that they actually have a feature around it, but like, hello, I went back, literally 15 years ago when I first started teaching LinkedIn to job seekers back in the day. I was saying, hey, you should have a video resume, and here's some examples of good video resumes on YouTube. So it's not new. But 15 years later, after a pandemic, with Gen Z and everyone, or most people, being a lot more conversant in video and creating video and sharing video, 100%, I feel like people, if you're willing to make the effort, you should be adding video resumes to your LinkedIn. And I think you can do it on TikTok, right? And just add that link to LinkedIn and then promote that link to your featured section. And there you go. You've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is just a test that they've done with like 30 companies. We'll see where it goes, because there's a lot of career focused And career focused content over on TikTok, I don't necessarily think that I would want that on my LinkedIn, because a lot of it is just like anti-management, anti-corporate.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know that I necessarily want that along with my company page. But
Well, yeah, exactly.
but that leads me to my next question of like, LinkedIn is just so buttoned up. It's very professional. You're commenting on news stories.
Right.
People that do video there are doing a good job of it, right? You're not getting a lot of that snarkiness. And so do you think that LinkedIn video should always be that button up business content? I mean, sure, be silly, be fun, whatever, but like, it is so different than what's out there on the other platforms. Do you see LinkedIn as a place where you can kind of stretch this a little bit?
You always want to be business focused, but yeah, you don't have to be like buttoned up, stick up your butt, for sure. I mean, I think of our friend Michaela Alexis. Like, she does great video. She does them on TikTok and then brings them over into LinkedIn. Like, that's her. Our CEO Mario, he's got a LinkedIn video where he's singing with his kids. He's got, he does a lot with his kids online or on LinkedIn. He always pulls in some kind of like business lesson around it. But I think as long as there's some kind of business relation to the videos, and quite frankly, just the content that you're sharing, it's okay. It's the math tests. It's the completely has absolutely nothing to do with who you are in your business world type stuff that drives me nuts. And because LinkedIn's got a relatively simple algorithm, when someone, throws up a math test or something that's just completely irrelevant to them, to their business, to LinkedIn, and then everyone's like, this doesn't belong on LinkedIn. This doesn't belong on LinkedIn. This doesn't belong on LinkedIn. And then it gets even more visibility for more people to say it doesn't belong on LinkedIn. Then it goes viral and the person goes, I'm going to do more math tests.
Right.
I just imagine these LinkedIn pitchforks and flames and Right. So on that note, talk to us about what are some best that's our thing now. Talk to us about best practices for video on LinkedIn, like recommended length, pre-recorded versus native versus going live. I know live is still not available to everyone, but pre-recorded and native video is. Yeah. And like, what's the recommended length of a video on LinkedIn? Because we broadcast a show, it's an hour long, but I know over on YouTube, like 10 minutes is kind of the ideal, right? Yeah, that's a little excessive.
Yeah. And on LinkedIn, like under 3 minutes. We do a lot of training on selling with videos. So what we have learned is if it's under a minute, it's going to get 30% more views than anything that's over a minute. Now, obviously, there are videos, if you're doing explainer videos, if you're walking people through how to use your platform or, explainer videos. Obviously, they're going to run a little bit longer. But even if you're doing interviews, getting testimonials, doing a video resume, keeping it as close to a minute as possible is good. You do have if you're doing native video, you've got a 10-minute stopping point. You can't upload a video that's more than 10 minutes or less than 3 seconds, but I guess that would be a GIF. So make sure that your video is at least 3 seconds, under 10 minutes. And then depending on what you're trying to do with it, try to keep it as close to a minute as possible. Pretty much do as I say, not as I do, because you'll notice like every single video I have is a tip on how to use LinkedIn, and they're all about 3 to 4 minutes. So yeah. Yeah.
Well,
video captions, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Video captions. Go ahead.
Yeah. So again, to Grace's point, using a tool like ReStream where you can get the captions in there, you can get that nice branding. And then if you can download that, 3 to 10 minute segment, if you can download it and then re-upload it as native video does still tend to get slightly better visibility. It's not like before when it was 10x. Like if you shared a YouTube link and uploaded a native video of the exact same content, LinkedIn was going to give you 10x more visibility on the native content. It's not like that anymore. My native videos get about 20 to 30% more views than my YouTube videos. So it's not that important, but hey, anything to give you an edge. I think what's more important than, native or link is when you're writing the post to that goes along with the video, whether it's native or a link, you really want to utilize as much of that space as possible. And they just expanded it to 3,000 characters from 1,200. So that's a mini blog post.
Yeah.
Because LinkedIn's algorithm is focused on dwell time. So as long as, the longer people stay on your post, the more LinkedIn is going to open it up and show it to more people. And so you want to get people engaged in the content of your post. And then with calls to action, watch the video to learn more, watch the video, if you don't like reading words, whatever. But, that combination of getting them to read through the post and then stay the minute or so and watch the video, that's going to get you more amplification on your content too.
So I want to go back and just talk really quick. So that's what I've been doing with this show. If you guys follow my LinkedIn page, that I usually take like a question that I ask Viveka and just take her answer and put it in the title and repurpose that across all platforms. But it's really interesting how well it does on LinkedIn. Like you were saying, it's about a 20% lift. That I have one that I did with Neil Schaefer. He was talking about influencer marketing that just took off. Yeah. And on that question, I wanted to ask you, how important are hashtags to that? Because that one I use like influencer marketing hashtag, and it did really well. And I'm wondering if it was the hashtag anything to do with it.
Yeah, hashtags have a little bit to do with it. Probably more Neil had something to do with it.
Probably,
Let's be honest. He's got a guy's huge network. So hashtags are important. And if you've got the creator mode, right, choose your 5 best hashtags. And then if you can at least pull some of those hashtags into your content, that's good. Something people don't realize on LinkedIn, the first 3 hashtags that you use, when you then share the link, not just share it and post it, but when you go back, on the top right, you get the 3 dots and you can copy that link. What you will notice is those top 3 hashtags are also in the link, potentially making that link more findable, even on Google, and making your content more visible, even on things like Google. So make sure that you utilize somewhere between 3 to 5 hashtags. It doesn't, you don't have to just put them at the bottom. You can work, and I recommend working your hashtags, those top 3, into your content in your post somehow. And then we always recommend you want, at least one macro hashtag, social selling, one micro hashtag, LinkedIn selling, and then potentially one unique hashtag unique to you or your company, because it just makes it easier to find that content later. For us, it would be something like, hashtag Vengreso pics or Vengreso vids. And that will also help to make, that will help you to gather your content and be able to disseminate it more easily.
So like a branded hashtag, like hashtag.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Yeah.
I know we've gone long, and I appreciate you with all the hiccups that were happening with the interwebs and all that stuff. But Viveka, I want to give you enough chance that you can tell people where to find you, your books, your courses, all the stuff that Vengreso offers. Let us know where they can find you.
Sure. So if you want to find me, just Google LinkedIn Expert, and my LinkedIn profile should be near the top, if not the first non-paid ad that comes up. Just always customize your invitation. It seems like an hour ago we talked about that, but always customize your invitation to connect. Just let me know that you are on the show with Jeff and Grace, and obviously I'll connect with you. If you want to find us on LinkedIn, or if you want to find us, just Vengreso with 1 S. We are not soup, Vengreso, Vengreso.com. And if you go to Vengreso.com/resources, we have so many great free resources. Now, they are very much focused on sellers, on sales. So, but just understand you'll probably get something out of it. Also, you will get a really annoying but very useful pop-up, which is actually a PDF version of our book, which you can get for free, or my book. So you will have to pay with your name, your email address, and your first child. But after that, you will get the PDF version of our book for free. Or buy the paper version on Amazon. As Jeff said, he's put the links to that below if you're on Amazon Live. Don't buy the first book. I'm sorry, Jeff. Don't buy LinkedIn Marketing in Our Day. It is 12 years old in social media years, which is like 2000. 2008 in real years. So like, don't buy it. It's so out of date. But this one we published back in April. So it's mostly up to date.
Gotcha.
Of course, LinkedIn introduced the video cover stories right after it went to publishing.
So make sure you guys go and check her out at Vengreso and VIVEKA everywhere. LinkedIn expert, you can find her. She is all across the interweb, so check her out. She's amazing to follow. Always gives, like today, amazing advice. We've had a lot of people say, like Gary says, great talk today, guys. Really excellent insight. So thank you, Gary. Thank you for all you guys showing up today. Don't forget, and I forgot to talk about it, I was so excited that VIVEKA came on the show today, that you can actually text us at 903-287-9088 and get reminded about these live shows. No spam, no nothing. It's just we send out these reminders when we're about to go live, and it's easy to do. 903-287-9088. It's an easy way to get around the pesky algorithms that we have to deal with on social media. And also, do not forget our sponsors. Number one, don't forget about this Leap into Live streaming bootcamp by my friends over at Ecamm. And you can always, if you want to check out Ecamm, go to socialmedianewslive.com/Ecamm, and then go to Leap into Live. Sign up for that. I'm going to be doing a talk. Don't want to miss that. You can heckle me from the audience at leapintolive.com. I'd love to see you guys there. And Grace, you have some amazing stuff as well happening over on ReStream. That's where you work.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got this amazing ReStream community on Facebook. So just look up restream.community. It's our group where we, everywhere from like beginners to pro live video people are there. Come there, network, find out more, learn, troubleshoot. I was on there early this morning, just like answering customer questions. So there are real people behind it. You will get your questions answered. So join us over there.
That's right.
And our next show is next Friday, July 30th, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. And you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Amazon Live.
And I want to do one final thought from my friend Sabrina. She goes, I am now in love with VIVEKA. Thank you all for amazing tips and insights on LinkedIn. Yes, VIVEKA is very easy to love. So make sure you, like we said, follow her everywhere. With that, thank you guys so much. Thank you for staying late for us and through all the hiccups and jumping streams and all that stuff. We will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.